My husband constantly invites friends over every week and pushes me around even though I'm pregnant. His friends also act as if this is the norm. One day, my husband Nick handed me a sleeping bag and said, "You can sleep here." And I was ousted to the kitchen. I can't take it anymore. If you want to have a good time with your friends, I have my own ideas too. By the time they realize who's arrived, they'll be in for a shock. My name is Emma. My husband Nick is a former colleague from my company. We met at a toy company aimed at young children. He was always surrounded by friends, a sociable person with a wide circle of acquaintances. Being introverted, I admired Nick's sociability. So when he asked me out, I was pleasantly surprised despite not expecting it. Once I started dating Nick, I realized that despite seeming flamboyant, he was actually frugal and responsible. Surprisingly, we spent many of our dates at home relaxing. "Nick, you're always hanging out with various people, aren't you? I thought you'd prefer to go out more for dates." When I mentioned this, he responded with slight awkwardness. "So you saw me like that? Actually, I don't really like to waste money. I usually just go along with eating out or drinking with others, but I really prefer relaxing at home." "I see. I myself prefer staying home, watching movies or cooking together, rather than going out." I was happy to see this unexpected side of him, a side he only showed to me. Gradually, I began to see him as a potential husband. He seemed to feel the same way, and a year into our relationship, Nick proposed to me. Even after getting married, Nick remained popular, often being invited to social gatherings by his colleagues. However, I was growing wary of him going out drinking every week. "Hey, I'd like to spend some weekends with you too." As I expressed my feelings, he responded while scratching his head. "Yeah, you're right. My bad. From now on, I'll just drink at home. That way, you won't be lonely, right? I want you to get along with my friends too." That's not exactly what I meant. Still, I couldn't say no to Nick. Since then, his friends and colleagues began to visit our home every weekend to drink. "Hey, Nick's wife, more beer, please." "Emma, we're out of snacks." Among his friends, there was a female contract worker named Sandy who didn't show any signs of helping out. I was run ragged by preparing drinks and snacks, never resting even over the weekend. Nick was completely oblivious to my state. "Guys, don't worry about catching the last train home tonight. Let's party till dawn." "Oh, that's what we were waiting for. You're the best, Nick." Not worrying about the last train? Could it be? As I thought, they partied late into the night and ended up staying over. And when they woke up late in the morning, they would demand as if it was a given. "Got anything to eat? Something easy on a hangover would be good," he said. So my weekend ended without any rest. But if I complained about the situation, Nick would surely just go out to drink. When I was wondering what to do, I found out I was pregnant. When I announced my pregnancy, Nick was overjoyed. "Really? That's great. So, I'm finally going to be a dad. That's right. I have to report this to everyone right away." Without giving me a chance to stop him, Nick messaged them. "Emma, everyone is happy for us and they want to celebrate. They're coming over this weekend." True to his words, his friends flocked to our house over the weekend and started partying harder than ever. They're here to celebrate, so I guess it can't be helped. Initially, I thought so and accepted it, but I was completely tired of them who kept showing up week after week. "Hey Nick, I'm happy they want to celebrate, but I'm having morning sickness and it's hard, so I want you to stop inviting people over." When I complained to Nick, he responded with dissatisfaction. "What are you talking about? Wasn't it you, Emma, who said, 'I'm lonely, I want to drink at home'?" "I told you not to go out drinking. I never said I wanted you to drink at home." "But I can't just leave you alone at home and go out drinking while you're pregnant. What if something happens while I'm gone?" Could it be that he's worried about me and drinking at home for my sake? When I thought about that, I found it hard to be too forceful. But every week is a bit too much. All right. But right now, everyone is just trying to celebrate our baby.
We can't just ignore their feelings, right?
Having been told that, I had no choice but to concede. I understand, but I'm having morning sickness, so I don't think I can prepare much food or snacks. I don't want to carry heavy stuff either, so will you handle the drinks, Nick?
Of course. Just do what you can, Emma.
Relieved by his words, I got through another weekend. Today again, their friends came to their house like they're used to.
Hey, ma'am, I brought beer. I'll put it here. Please keep it cool.
Okay.
And also, these are ingredients for food. You don't have to cook anything fancy.
It seemed Nick had told them something as the friends started bringing drinks and food one after another. But they only brought things. The actual task of fetching drinks from the refrigerator or making snacks was still left to me.
Hey, Nick's wife, can you bring us the beer from the fridge?
Emma, we need more snacks, please. In the end, I had to do the cooking. I knew that talking to Nick would be pointless. So I gently told them, actually, I've been having really bad morning sickness lately, and that's why I've taken a leave of absence from work, so... I was about to say that I wanted them to refrain from coming to our house in the future. But, laughing, the friends responded to my words. Exactly! I heard about it at work. Emma, you're on leave, right? Then you have to work for Nick at least on weekends.
Right, pregnancy isn't a sickness, so it's better if you move around a bit.
Misunderstanding something, my feelings didn't get through at all, and the friends started to take advantage of me even more. I had thought they wouldn't stay the night, but deep into the night, Nick and his colleagues didn't slow down their drinking. As I expected, they continued to drink past the subway time, got completely drunk, and were no longer in a state to return home. I was too tired to get angry anymore. When I tried to talk to Nick and then retired to the bedroom, Sandy, a contract employee, was already sleeping in our bed. I urgently appealed to him. Nick, Sandy's sleeping in our bed.
Oh, she got pretty wasted, so I carried her to the bed.
I can't believe it. I want to rest too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just wait a bit.
I thought he was going to wake Sandy up and get her off the bed, but instead Nick came back with a sleeping bag.
You should sleep here for tonight.
Saying that, Nick started setting up the sleeping bag in the corner of the kitchen. Whoa, wait a second. You're telling me I'm sleeping here? And in a sleeping bag?
Well, we're still drinking in the living room, so this is the only place, right? I'm glad I bought this camping sleeping bag, haha.
Called by his friends, Nick returned to the living room with more drinks in his hands. With no choice, I spent the night in an uncomfortable sleeping bag. The next morning, I was awakened by a knock from Sandy. Hey, Emma, how long are you going to sleep? It's already 11 a.m., you know. Sorry, I had trouble falling asleep last night. After a night in an unfamiliar sleeping bag and on the hard kitchen floor, I managed to fall asleep only when dawn broke. I only managed to doze off, and I'm not feeling refreshed at all. Regardless, Sandy continued. Hey, I'm hungry. Don't we have anything for breakfast? Oh, thanks to someone's oversleeping, it's more like brunch now, haha. Wake me up when it's ready, okay? She said, and then went back to our bedroom. With a fuzzy head, I went to the living room where Nick and his friends were passed out drunk. The table was littered with the remnants of their food and drinks. It seems I'm the one who will have to clean up this mess. As I was making a soup grudgingly, the smell attracted Nick and his friends.
Oh, soup, huh? Nice.
Sandy also came to the living room and started stuffing herself with rice, soup, and omelet. His friends, too, seemed to have become quite cheerful.
Yesterday was so fun, man. I don't feel like going home today either.
I get that. It's a long weekend after all. Let's have a second celebration. Instead of refusing, Nick said,
Thanks for doing this for us.
He even expressed his gratitude. It looks like it's up to me to be the one to say no. Well, everyone, I've understood your feelings well enough, so it's not necessary for you to celebrate so many times. The room fell silent for a moment at my stern words. Sensing this, Nick quickly addressed everyone.
That's right, let's invite others today. They said they were busy and couldn't come yesterday, right?
At his words, the friends quickly got their spirits back.
Nick, that's a brilliant idea.
They were also wanting to celebrate again. Noticing my dissatisfaction, Nick addressed me sternly.
Emma, what's with that attitude since a while ago? It's rude to everyone, isn't it? I thought you'd be anxious being alone as a pregnant woman, so I'm holding back from going out drinking. They're all caring for me who can't go out drinking, and have taken the trouble to come to our house, you know?
The friends also agreed with Nick's opinion. Holding back from drinking for the sake of his wife, Nick really cares about his wife, but it will suffocate if you keep holding back too much. We have to take a breather like this about once a week. We're always ready to accompany you. That's right. There are not many good husbands like Nick. We'll come every week if necessary.
Thanks for covering for my wife's selfishness, everyone.
Encouraged by everyone, Nick didn't seem entirely displeased. Everyone's covering for my selfishness? Is this kind of drinking party going to continue every week from now on? That's ridiculous. Finally, I snapped at Nick's words. Got it. Then can I invite someone too? As I said that, Nick nodded in relief.
Yeah, you can invite whoever you want. It's more fun when there are many people.
Hearing that, I immediately made a phone call to a certain place. In the afternoon, another friend of Nick's arrived.
I didn't think everyone was drinking 2 days in a row. Thanks for the invite, Nick. Likewise, thank you for celebrating for us. Let's drink to our heart's content today.
Then the doorbell rang again.
Oh, looks like the person Emma invited is here too. Should I get the door?
Opening the front door, Nick was taken aback.
But boss, why are you here?
I hurriedly headed to the entrance to welcome the visitor. Uncle, I've been waiting for you.
Uncle?
Indeed, the man I called to our home on the phone was the head of our department at the company. To the surprised Nick and his friends, I explained the situation. This man is an old friend of my father. He has loved me as his own daughter since the day I was born.
But Emma, you never mentioned this before.
Nick interjected, sweating nervously.
He didn't show any signs of this at the wedding or at the company, even as head of the department.
Well, if the other employees heard that the boss was doting on me, they would find it hard to work, wouldn't they? At my words, the boss added,
I have also been sternly told by Emma not to be overly familiar in public. I've never been able to outsmart her. As a man without children of my own, Emma is like a precious daughter to me.
The boss, suddenly serious, turned to Nick and said this.
This precious Emma has come to me for help when she's in trouble. That's why I came here. What seems to be the issue? What? We haven't done anything to trouble Emma, right guys?
As Nick said this, everyone else hastily nodded in agreement. Immediately I addressed them. Right, making a pregnant woman like me prepare late-night snacks and breakfast, making me sleep in a sleeping bag. You don't think anything of it, do you, Nick? Upon hearing my words, the boss was furious.
Nick, are you treating Emma this way? It's just that everyone said they wanted to celebrate our pregnancy, so I couldn't refuse.
Suddenly being blamed, the friends hastily started to explain.
No, sir. We only accepted Nick's request because he said he couldn't go out drinking due to his wife.
Then the boss put an end to the disgraceful attempt to evade responsibility.
Shut up! It's outrageous to have a drinking party overnight in a house with a pregnant woman and let her sleep in the kitchen. Do you think that's appropriate for our company, a toy manufacturer targeting young children?
We're very sorry. We'll excuse ourselves now. The friends, startled by the boss's anger, quickly gathered their things and hurried to leave. Seeing their reactions, the boss shouted again.
Hey, are you going to make Emma clean up? Clean up the mess you've made for yourselves before you leave.
Being glared at by the boss, they started cleaning up the cluttered living room and doing the dishes. When the house was all tidied up, they left as if they were fleeing. Amidst all that, the boss called a halt to Sandy.
Sandy, I want you to stay behind for a bit.
Me? After her friends left, the boss questioned a visibly uncomfortable Nick and Sandy.
Do you know why I asked Sandy to stay?
Nick, though flustered, denied it.
No, what are you talking about? It's about the rumors between you, Nick, and Sandy. There's been talk within the company that you two have been having an affair. That's a misunderstanding.
With Nick desperately denying it, the boss lowered his tone.
I had heard about Emma being pregnant and thought the rumors were baseless. I wanted that shouldn't be the case, but you disappointed me.
The boss showed an email image sent by someone from the company. It contained images of Nick and Sandy entering a fancy restaurant and coming out of a brand store carrying shopping bags. It turns out Nick was not thrifty, he was just stingy with me. In fact, I had suspicions about his relationship with Sandy and mentioned my concerns to the boss. Upon hearing this, the boss immediately contacted several employees who had witnessed the two and provided photographs as evidence.
No, boss, this is,
Exactly, there's nothing between Nick and me. Even when confronted with evidence, their pathetic excuses disgusted me. I hesitated at the thought of our baby growing up without a father. But if the father is someone who can casually invite his affair partner into our home, it's better if he isn't around. I told Nick on the spot that I wanted a divorce. I've had enough of your selfish excuses. Nick and I are getting a divorce. You two can do whatever you want.
What about our baby in your belly?
You who let our child sleep in a sleeping bag on the kitchen floor, worried about our child? What are you saying now?
But...
There's no but. You who cheated don't get a say. My conditions are asset division and child support.
How much is it going to be?
Who knows? You've done enough to deserve it, haven't you?
Emma, reconsider.
Shut up. I'm done being patient. Go have your parties with your friends for the rest of your life, you man-child. After that, the house became mine through property division. I made him agree to pay child support as well. The boss was present for all the discussion, so Nick reluctantly agreed to my terms. After the divorce, Nick left the house and moved in with Sandy. Rumors of them living together quickly spread within the company, and their affair became public knowledge. Because their bad reputation also negatively affected the clients, it seems Sandy was fired and Nick was demoted. As the reason for the contract termination reached the temp agency, Sandy was unable to find a new placement. Nick also suffered a major salary cut due to his demotion. Sandy, now jobless, and Nick, who's stretched thin by monthly child support payments, they have no wiggle room in their lives and are now forced to live a very frugal life. They are always fighting about money, and though they both want to break up, they are forced to stick together because neither of them has the funds to live alone. On the other hand, with the support of my family and the boss, I was able to give birth safely. Afterwards, the boss introduced me to a man, leading to a remarriage. As I created a new family, I've never been happier.